this is still something we need to talk about because it's really the most important thing. I feel like the Niners are doing everything right. They're putting Trey Lance in position to win the job. But if they limp into the season like they did last year, it's hard to take them seriously. They got to find a way to not get themselves hurt before week 1. We've talked about this before. Are there other suggestions? Because they have no ideas of their own. They're listening to our show, writing things down like this. They're just waiting for you to say something to help. So why don't we?
We can help.
We can help.
Yeah. So we've already been. I think we, between myself and other guests, we've harped on nutrition. We've harped on recovery and activation, basically warm-ups and cool-downs and things like that. At this point, there needs to be an actual physiologic change to their workouts. Their calisthenics program needs to be different. It's not just the acts of moving static weight, that is to say leg presses and lunges and bench presses and rows and things like that. So getting away from that topic, because they're either going to do that right and not ego lift, or they're going to do it wrong and continue to do what they do. I'm sure some of the 49ers do the right thing. But overall, I would love to see more control in the weight room. It's not a matter of that looked okay. They have enough guys on this roster. There are enough trainers. Hire me. I don't care. But get someone in there and get a team of people who will actually force form. So that's the first thing. The second thing is there are actual non-weight agility drills, because a lot of these career-altering or season-ending injuries are resulting from non-contact injuries. Things like that, non-football injuries, we'll get to that later, but non-contact injuries, I think, are the thing that they can mitigate the most. So one of the things that disciplined football players do it's called mobility drills, agility drills, hip mobility. So it's basically everything comes from your hips. If you don't have your hips turned in the right direction, then you're rotating on your patella in ways that should not go. And that's how running backs, defensive backs, and people like that hurt their knees, is because they are not leading with that elbow. So you can throw your arm in both directions and let that guide you. It's like martial arts. It's like surfing. It's like speed skating. You don't see speed skaters throw their leg out to turn. They glide in the direction, and it actually helps you turn faster. So you'll have to tell me, do you see the 49ers when you go to practice? Are they doing hip mobility drills before they even practice or lift?
I mean, they do dynamic stretches, but I don't watch it closely enough to tell you exactly.
Though? That's what I'm asking. Are they moving when they do it? Are they high stepping?
I do think they are. That's a good question. Let me watch it again and get back to you. I perceive it, yes, but I'm also the kind of guy like, can we like speed this up and get to 7-on-7s? Because I'm just like Kyle Shanahan was terrible. But it's a good question. I think they do the right things, but I don't know. I have to watch
in an hour. I don't see how.
Yeah, they have like a stretching period, and they have little things that they do, but it doesn't seem like it's that much.
Do they begin with static stretches? That is to say, they begin by just stretching their legs, their arms, and things.
I don't believe so. I think they all like dance while they're stretching, and they go back and forth. It seems like they're doing the right things, and it's still. So let me give some theories as to why nothing is working as a solution. I think a big thing that's going on here is players with previous injuries are at a higher risk to get more injuries. And the Niners are so invested in players who've had a lot of soft tissue injuries in their past. So let's like Jeff Wilson Jr. to begin with. He could have been injured already. You know, he could have had like a little injury in his knee, came in and then messed it up. He could have already been compromised. And I feel like there's so many players on the Niners who are already compromised. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you have to take that into consideration. Like the doctor said, injury history, but no, I don't buy that.
So extensive with this team. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't like that excuse. Okay, bottom line, it's going to affect someone's career. It's going to end someone's career. It's going to alter someone's career. Look at Jason Barrett, for instance.
Yeah.
I don't think that guy lacks motivation. I think that guy is as determined as any player to play. But I tore my MCL when I was young in martial arts.
Oh, wow. Got
to the Navy. My knee was still bothering me. I kind of hid that fact from them. The intelligence that community I was with shows in working out. I have no injuries to this day. I have never taken another injury.
Wow.
I run, put more stress on my knees than any football player ever has. I'm running up hills with pallets on my back. I'm taking 90-pound combat kits. You know, I'm running 4 miles through the jungle with that sort of thing. My knee doesn't bother me at all because there are steps you can take that are tailor-made. They noticed there was something wrong with my knee, but they liked me well enough. They were like, shh, we won't say anything, but you got to do this, this, and that. So they gave me a tailor-made program. I wasn't exactly working out with everyone else exactly the same way. So this group think and everything, that's what I would ask you. Do you see isolation for Verrett, for Garoppolo? I know Garoppolo has been isolated, but that's different. He's a quarterback, and they're putting him on the sideline and letting him do. That's not isolation. But when you see Jeff Wilson and Verrett and Bosa, I know we don't have a good look at Bosa, but are they isolating them? Is there workout difference? Are they?
Oh, no, for Verrett, absolutely. For Jeff Wilson Jr., no. For Tarvarius Moore, no. Like the guys who get the special treatments are the vets who make a lot of money. But like let's look at Tarvarius Moore for a second. This one I feel like is preventable. You were a DB. You know that drill that they do at the beginning of every practice. Backpedaling and driving in different angles. I mean, they do it every day.
Exactly. Yep.
Right? I don't know how you were. I never played football, but I talk to coaches all the time. I ask them questions. Tell me if this was how you were taught to do it. What the coach said was how he taught the DBs was you drive, you turn your foot and drive off the side of your foot with your knee bent. If you don't do that and you drive off the ball of your foot, just visualize how much force is on your Achilles.
Yeah.
If you're driving off the ball of your foot,
it's the same reason you don't squat from the balls of your feet.
Exactly.
Because it engages, it's a chain reaction. It engages your patella up in your knee in a way in which it's free floating, and then it grinds.
Exactly. So I don't know if this was
the Achilles goes. That's a hyper load on the Achilles. When I was, I knew this guy. He was a recon brain, best instructor I ever knew. He ruptured his Achilles tendon going downhill because he kept hitting the balls of his feet. Because this dude's an insane runner. This guy, he can maintain. I mean, his mile and a half time, I think was, I want to say it was like 6:50.
Yeah.
Who does that? This guy was insane. And
yeah,
that's chew on that, people. That's a ridiculous time. But anyway, he ruptured his Achilles tendon when he got older because he decided to do tons of downhill training because of where we live.
Yes.
So it's kind of similar. As for me, I was taught like that. It was very simplified. Each coach has a different way of doing it because they don't want you to overthink. So they're going to tell you something that makes it simplified. So they think it's streamlined and easily digested by the whole team.
Right.
So what I was taught is that you're going to throw your elbows out and that's going to turn your shoulders and you're going to open up your hips. And if your hips are going, I'm trying to think. Deion Sanders, great. I love his highlight reels. If you guys look at some of his football cards, some of his highlight reels, he has this almost sideways lean. Yes. And he looks like his leg is like at an angle like this to the ground with a big bend in his knee.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's how the drive is just like a squat.
You need the bend in your knee. If you drive off the ball of your foot, your leg locks, it's straight, and all of the G forces are on your Achilles. And if you do that every day, like Tarvarius Moore, if you do it the wrong way every freaking day, like Tarvarius Moore does, then you're a 24-year-old who pops your Achilles.
I mean, it's in any exercise. If you have repeated trauma, you have repeated aggravation, that just basically you have micro fissures in your tendons. Basically, they begin to tear slowly over time. They call it wear and tear. Wear and tear is completely preventable until you're 90 years old. But basically, the point is these guys with the recovery, with the proper techniques, with the proper calisthenics program. Right. So we're talking about a culture. We're talking about a complete system change at this point. And it starts at the top with Peterson. And even if he knows what he's doing from a physiologic medical standpoint, it's very obvious that this culture is not instilled. And that goes to him, and then it goes to the coach.
Well, I mean, there should be more. If Tarvarius Moore is doing his basic drills incorrectly, then what's the point of doing them at all? There should be more.
Is there any way we can watch the drill session?
I'm allowed to watch the drill session when I'm there.
If you can take some notes, maybe we can go over that, because the one thing I'm interested in is
I'll take some videos. I'll show you.
I would love that.
You.
I would like to go over that and find out if they warm up. That's what I'm concerned with. If you're warmed up and your technique is okay, you're not going to take these injuries. But there are freak accidents, of course.
Yes.
But borderline, the AstroTurf bizarre phenomenon last year. Other teams played on AstroTurf. I don't like AstroTurf. I played on that a couple of times. I can't stand those little black things that go flying everywhere.
Tire parts.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
in my high school.
I
Yeah.
hate them.
They get in
Hate
your
it.
mouth. It's gross.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, I face planted a couple
People
of times.
spit on the field. It's gross.
Oh, it's nasty.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
nasty.
nasty.
It's like a
Yep.
cat box. That's what we call it.
It
We call
is a
it
cat box, a freaking litter box. Ugh.
It is, but the bottom line is other teams, the Jets, they played on there, and nobody saw the attrition in a single game that the 49ers did. That was devastating. And if you are already in a place where your injuries are small or minor, like you said with Moore, it's kind of mounting, and you're not warmed up properly, and you're just your muscles are not built properly, that's gonna only expose you. So yeah, AstroTurf, you can blame it, but it's more like it exposes a certain lack of durability and flexibility.
Yeah, it's just way less forgiving on your joints. I feel like you're more likely to pop an Achilles on AstroTurf. Brandon says, how many Niners will opt out of turf this year? That's a very strange question. I don't know if you can opt out of turf.
I've never heard that.
No, but I'll get back to you.